What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Sunday morning so far. This is NYGJeffyT85 here, and I just want to talk about briefly about what kind of offense do I think that the New York Giants are gonna run in 2023. Now, you might be thinking, does it really matter what kind of offense this team is gonna run? Yes, actually it does, because A, it's gonna depend on the personnel on the team. B, it's going to depend on where they're going to be lined up on the field. And C, it's going to depend on what type of coaching and play calling that head coach Brian Daboll and most notably, of course, offensive coordinator Mike Kafka want to run for this New York Giants offense in the 2023 NFL season. Now you look at the New York Giants current roster. Obviously, we haven't gone through the NFL draft. That's going to be happening in a couple of weeks right now, but if you look at the New York Giants' current roster, you still have Saquon Barkley in the backfield. You have Daniel Jones behind center. You have at tight end, obviously they acquired the big tight end from Las Vegas, Darren Waller. You have Daniel Bellinger as your backup tight end. You got a couple of other guys, and Tommy Sweeney, Nick Vanette, and Lawrence Cager as your other guys. And then at the wide receiver position, you got a whole bunch of guys. You got Paris Campbell, Jeff Smith, and Jamison Crowder, who are all brought in as free agents through free agency this offseason. You brought back guys like Isaiah Hodgins, Sterling Shepard, and Darius Slayton through free agency. You have second-year player in Wan'Dale Robinson on the roster. You also have Colin Johnson, David Sills, Mekhi Polk, Khalil Pippleton all on the roster as well. So you look at this type of offense that I believe that Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka want to run. I do believe that they want to run a lot of different types of concepts. They want to try to spread the ball out. They want to try to get the ball down the field for this New York Giants offense, and they weren't able to do that last year because of the fact they had lack of talent at the wide receiver position. They really didn't have any true explosive playmakers on the outside and towards the middle of the field. The only real true explosive playmaker they had on their offense was, of course, Saquon Barkley. Now you add an element like Darren Waller into the mix, who's always going to be commanding double teams in the middle of that football field. You could send him up the middle in the seam. You could put him on the outside to be able to run some deep routes, some crossers. You can even have him do some dig routes. And you have a couple of speed guys on the outside in Darius Slayton and Paris Campbell, as well as some good shifty route runners in the middle of the field like Isaiah Hodgins, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jamison Crowder. You have another deep threat on the outside in Jeff Smith, and you guys have a couple of other younger players that you can mix into it to the system as well. And you have Colin Johnson, who is also like Isaiah Hodgins, a good route runner in the middle of the football field. And this is going to allow somebody like Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka to spread open the offense and allow this team to be able to attack downfield and attack in the middle of the field. Also, you could spread out a guy like Saquon Barkley from the backfield. You could put him out wide. You could put him in the middle of the field. You could have him run a crosser. You could have him run a dig route. One of the best things that Saquon Barkley knows how to run very good, and that's the wheel route. Saquon Barkley is not exactly the greatest route runner, but he does run the wheel route very well. He has suspect hands at times. When you get him in the open field and he is able to make the catch, he's also very deadly in the open field, being able to elude defenders and be able to pick up more yardage after the catch. I do believe, in my opinion, and obviously we haven't gotten to the draft like I mentioned, but when it's all said and done, I do believe that Mike Kafka is going to open up this offense a lot more than what it was in 2022, when this offense pretty much was bogged down a whole lot and more about just opening up the running game and not really a whole lot about the passing game. I do believe that this offense is going to open it up, and it's going to open it up significantly going into this 2023 season. I think you're going to see a lot more passing. I think you're going to see a lot more 12, even 11, and even 10 personnel on the football field, where you're going to see sometimes 4 wide receivers out there or 3 wide and a tight end split out. You could also see the running back split out to the wide or split out in the middle of the field, having them run the X, Y, and Z route options in the middle of the field. You can have somebody coming out of the backfield, throwing a toss pass to the outside. I do believe, because of the type of personnel that they brought in already, plus the fact that they're going to be adding at least a couple more receivers, probably through the draft and through undrafted free agency, I do believe that this offense is going to be opened up a hell of a lot more compared to what we've seen in the past season. And why wouldn't you at this point? I mean, the offense that was being run before, it was too one-dimensional. Once you were able to stop the running game, the Giants offense just wasn't able to muster up enough offense, enough points, enough playmaking ability. They weren't able to get the ball down the field. And that also has to do with the suspect offensive line as well. But I do believe, as many other Giants fans and content creators believe, we are going to be going into this NFL draft and we're going to be shoring up the interior of this offensive line, namely the center. So, if you get enough protection from the offensive line, hopefully an improved season from Evan Neal. You got Andrew Thomas, who's played incredibly well at left tackle. You got yourselves a couple of young guards in Joshua Zudu and Marcus McKeithen to build off of, as well as you got the veteran Mark Lewinsky at right guard. You got a couple of guys you have now at center like Jay-Z Hausenauer. You also have Ben Bredesen and Shane Lemieux, who are currently still on the roster. And that's also going to be guys they're going to be bringing in through the draft. You still got Matt Parrott. You got Tyree Phillips on the roster as well. So the Giants are going to keep adding more talent to that offensive line and to the wide receiver, tight end, and running back position. Giants are going to be adding a running back, whether people want to believe it or not. There will be another running back added to this team going into the 2023 NFL Draft and the 2023 season. They are not going to go into this team season with just the running backs they have on the roster, because I do believe Breida's on 1-year deal. Also, you have Brightwell, who I believe is on the last year of his rookie deal. And then you also have Saquon Barkley, who right now currently is only playing on the franchise tag. And we are not sure if Saquon Barkley is going to be signing a long-term deal. This could be just a 1-year thing with Barkley, and then he goes right back to unrestricted free agency after the season. But it only makes sense on the Giants starting to open up the playbook a lot more compared to what they were doing last year, because of the fact you have a dynamic tight end who is going to command so much attention in the middle of the football field, and Darren Waller. You have more speed and youth now at the wide receiver position. Jeff Smith, whether you believe it or not, he has speed, and he's a guy that can open it up on the outside, as well as you got Paris Campbell and Darius Slayton, who we know have 4.3 sub-speed that can go down the football field and create separation on the outside. And then you have good, solid, quick route runners in the middle of the field, and Isaiah Hodgins, Colin Johnson, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Jamison Crowder. So I expect this Giants offense to open it up significantly in 2023. Does it really matter what kind of offense they're going to run? Yes, because the offense they were running last year was way too one-dimensional. You stop the run, you stop the Giants offense. You open things up, the offense is going to start picking it up. So I do believe going into this upcoming season, this offense is going to be a lot more explosive. And why do I say that? Darren Waller, Paris Campbell, Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton. You have Daniel Bellinger, who now is the second tight end on this team, and we're not even counting whoever they add at the wide receiver position through the draft. Whether it's a first-round pick and the number one future receiver on this team, or whether they get a couple, like 1 or 2 receivers through the mid-rounds of this draft, which is a very deep mid-round class of wide receivers in this upcoming draft. They could end up doing that, so we'll have to wait and see what the Giants are going to do going through this NFL draft and how they played out during the offseason workouts. But just wanted to talk to you guys about that and why I believe this offense is going to open it up and open it up significantly going into the 2023 season. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and give a sub to NYGJeffyT85. More news updates and chatter surrounding the New York Giants. Turn on the bell for notifications of the next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Giants. And you guys let me know in the comment section if you agree that this New York Giants offense is going to open it up, and it's going to open it up immediately and significantly going into the 2023 NFL season. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Take it easy, and let's go New York Football Giants. As always, together blue, everyone.